So I came in, started JMU the fall of 2014, which seems so long ago, as a athletic training major. And I think similar to athletic training as the other health majors, you take a lot of the prerequisite science courses. And I took chemistry that semester. And I think I thought I could practice the same skills that I did in high school, and I ended up failing that class. So I think, if I remember correctly and how the course was designed, we have, I think, 4 or 5 tests throughout the semester, and I think I bombed the first one. I did relatively well on the second one. I think I might have bombed the third one, and I had to either do well on the fourth one to be able to even consider taking the final to pass the class. And I think probably at the time I didn't mention it to my folks just because I didn't want them to worry or for them to think that I, again, couldn't have the ability to do college and succeed and have success. And so I think I might have mentioned it before I headed home, so they knew that I was having some struggles, particularly in that course. And then once the grades came out and they saw my GPA, I was borderline categorized in academic probation. And so I think that terminology really rocked my boat, and also my parents. I think I did a lot of soul searching winter break of my freshman year. I think my folks definitely, we had a lot of intense and meaningful conversations basically saying that I needed to get my act together in a lot of ways. And I think that allowed me to kind of change my attitude and allowed me to rationalize, okay, yes, I failed a class, but it's not the end of the world. I have the resources and the abilities to recover from this. And so I essentially had to redesign my studying habits. I had to figure out what worked, and if I didn't know what worked, I had to figure that out. But I think in a lot of ways that failure allowed me to realize, sometimes in situations you have shortcomings not due to a lack of effort, but due to a lack of interest and kind of this internal desire to learn. And I think for me, I was one of those JMU students that was more involved outside the classroom than in, and I was able to have success in that setting. Failure isn't final. I think I think as Americans, we are conditioned to think that if someone's good at something, that they're naturally good at it and that they didn't practice it. And I think that's just a really big myth. I think the people that have a large amount of success, whether that's in academics or anywhere else, is folks that put practice into it. They put effort into it. They've realized that there is a time and an energy requirement into their craft. And so, if you fail a class, if you don't get into a club, if you don't, reach a goal that you don't want, I think, that is a process of you continually growing and learning and refining into who you should be and who you want to be. And I'd also say that there's also this expectation that I think you need to know what you want to do with your life at 18. And I think that you're probably still trying to figure out what you should eat for dinner that night. And so not to have that pressure. It's easier said than done not to have that pressure, but just realize that your career route is something that's continuously evolving and continuously changing. And don't worry that your path hasn't been presented to you, because you get to create it yourself.